pro tip, maybe don't model your franchise against a Russian gangster poker player with the most obvious tell in the history of gambling. Yeah, when he's eating the Oreo, he's got the nuts, guys. We figured that out early in the movie. And the Rams, since beating Tampa 2 months ago, they're 4-4. And the 4 wins have come against terrible teams, and the 4 losses have come against the good ones. And you watched last night, Broussard, and you know what it looked a lot like? I recognize that Matt Stafford. That's the Matt Stafford that throws a beautiful deep ball and at times looks like, why isn't he one of the 5 best quarterbacks in football? But also will make some head-scratching decisions, and that fumble was atrocious. I have seen the best quarterbacks in football have their arm back, have it tomahawk chopped down, and hold on to the ball like they've got Gorilla Glue on their fingers. His elbow is lightly tapped, and he loses the football. So listen, we are barreling towards, Broussard, round 1, Rams at Cowboys. 2 teams, all in, Super Bowl expectations, and one of them is going to go home on the first playoff weekend of the year. So I think it's a big deal for a Rams team that has put all their eggs in this year's basket to see, okay, we're good, but we're not as good as the other good teams. We're not good enough, and I don't see that changing.
I'm with you, Nick, and it's because of the last thing you said. They're all in. Now, I'll give them a few years, right? They got about a 3-year window to win a Super Bowl with Matt Stafford. Or all that you gave up in addition to Jared Goff, oh my, because we know all the draft picks that they've given up to win the Super Bowl now. All right, and you said it. The fact of the matter is they are 1-4 against teams with winning records this year. All right, all the wins, they got one good win. Of their 7, they've beaten one team with a winning record, and that was Tampa Bay. All right, outside of that, they have struggled. And while everyone was praising Matt Stafford and the acquisition of him, and I like, look, he's a good quarterback. But I was like, can we pump the brakes on the MVP talk? Can we pump the brakes on the Super Bowl date that the Rams have locked up with Matt Stafford? Because his record entering this season, guys, was 8-68 against winning teams. 8-68. And what we've seen this
he's
season
on that same trajectory.
Right. It's just a continuation. Yesterday, he had a few nice passes. Van Jefferson, the 79-yarder. Odell Beckham Jr., the 54-yarder, whatever it was. But he had a lot of bad moments, too. He wasn't horrible, but he was missing some throws. You showed the fumble. 3rd straight game with the pick 6. These are all big games. 3 straight big games. All right? 3 good teams, and he's thrown a pick 6 in each of them. Nick, I think this is a Matt Stafford issue. And the defense, and you probably talk about this too, the defense isn't close to what it was last year, and that's a problem too.
And I was talking last night with a buddy of mine that's a real big believer in the Rams, and he tried to convince me not to say this, not to say that they're, that they're in huge trouble. He said, hey, it's the same trajectory as the Bucs last year. Bucs mediocre through 75% of the season, lost to the good teams, then got hot at the end. The difference is the Bucs quarterback had been to 9 Super Bowls and gave everyone the confidence he would come through. Stafford's played in 3 playoff games and won none of them. And let me say one other thing about the Rams Wilds before we move on. I know it's against sports media rules to ever even imply Sean McVay made a mistake. But Sean McVay, for 4 years now, has been bad situationally on 4th down stuff. And last night he expanded it to one of the most bizarre 90-second drills I've ever seen in my life watching football. I thought Aikman was going to leave the stadium in protest when they called that run play on 3rd down 11, with a minute left and no timeouts. It made no sense in the moment. What are you doing, McVay? So, I don't trust the quarterback as much as I trust the other NFC playoff quarterbacks. Situationally, Sean McVay needs to learn some things. It's not a great recipe.
Okay, so my takeaway, Nick, was the Packers. I know it's like, Packers, a great team, played great. I think there's something else happening with the Packers, Broussard. They reminded me of the Last Dance Bulls. And remember, before the season started, Rodgers and Davante Adams posted the matching pictures of Jordan and Pippen fist bumping. It's like, last dance, last run. But they forgot one other guy in the Last Dance, and it was Rodman. I thought last night's game was like a Rodman game, and here's why. Because no matter what was happening in Dennis Rodman's career and life, he's going on to wrestling matches, he's going to Vegas, he's doing God knows what. When it came time for the game, Rodman showed up and delivered. And that's what I think we saw last night from Aaron Rodgers. His toe is hurt. He can barely move. He took a painkiller. What did he do? Rushed for touchdowns. He had the most rushing yards yesterday than he had in the entire season. What else happened? He didn't practice. He looked perfect. We were talking about on this show. Nick's like, hey, he hasn't practiced. It's a big deal. We're like, yeah, that's a big deal. Got to practice. He looked great. And here's the other thing. Broussard, I had a lot of choices of plays I could have picked to describe how relaxed the Packers look. I could have been that 4th and 2. He threw a tight window. There was another long pass down the sidelines to Davante Adams. He almost triple coverage, caught it, looked perfect. But I'm going to choose a weird one. It's this Davante Adams pass when he hits a Packers staffer. Hits him, he goes down. And this is a 20-17 game. Davante Adams takes time, picks up his hat, and puts it on this guy. There was just a vibe where the Packers are relaxed, the Packers are at home, the Packers are not worried, to the point that they're doing wardrobe changes for the staff members on the sidelines. Meanwhile, Aaron Donald's choking guys, and we feel like we're celebrating, like Odell got a touchdown, his turns back. There just felt like there was a stress about the Rams and a carefreeness and greatness about the Packers that I think make them not only a dangerous team, but the best team in the league.
Yeah, that's a great take, Wilds. And you're right. Aaron Rodgers, while it seems like he's cracking under the media pressure off the field, on the field, he is tremendous. And they do look, right now, they look like the best team in the league. You know, we still got plenty of time. I'm not predicting they win the Super Bowl, but they look right now like the best team in football. Rodgers, Nick, and I didn't think he had a shot at winning MVP. I personally don't think that all the off-the-field shenanigans, the immunization instead of vaccinate, all that, I don't think that would stop him from winning the MVP. And he has got to be in the running now because he's been, think of all the elite quarterbacks in the league. They've all had bad games. They've all been up and down. Except Rodgers. The first game against New Orleans, he was horrible. Since then, he's been great. Every game hasn't been great, but he's had no bad games. He's always been at least good, and they've got some great wins. They right now, Nick, do look like defensively, offensively, running the football, passing it, the best team in football.
And I think we're just almost underselling how impressive his performance this week was, because it's not only he didn't practice. Think about how much research he had to present to the league about the shot he got in his foot. I mean, he probably wasn't even able to pay attention to the game. I mean, he had a lot of balls in the air, buddy. He had a lot going on and somehow manages that performance.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.